just want to show appreciation for some of you guys who have sent in an amazing number and quality of gifts to the channel through the P.O. box. I could not have expected this many awesome, heartfelt, genuinely just nice gifts to receive. So we're going to go through the newest ones and pay a little appreciation for some of the older ones that we've gotten before. And these candles were a little gift to myself, by myself. The first one is a brand new microphone. So it's not going to be binaural, but it's ridiculously better than the Yeti I'm currently using right now. I wanted to open it first so that we can get an idea of the difference in sound quality that you're going to hear. I think it's going to be much sharper, much clearer, maybe even more quiet, hopefully. As you guys can see, we have a ton of gifts to open up. Some I've opened up in the past, but we'll get to the new ones first. I'm just so thankful for all of them, guys. So I just want to let you know how appreciative I really am for them. Okay. So for this first one here, this box is actually pretty big. I might have to kick the candles out of frame for a minute. Let's see. And this is, I guess, what am I doing? It's been a while since I've done an unboxing. I'm going to show you guys the outside first. And this is, I looked it up, it's one of the most expensive microphones on the market, I believe. And although the box it does look kind of cheesy. It looks a little, almost like a beginner's kit, but I do believe it's one of the best ones out there. And it comes with a nice little package here. So we got pop shield, which I desperately need. Shock mount to prevent sounds when you're tapping on the desk and whatnot. Nice XLR cable, and which is useful when you have a lot of radio static, electromagnetic noise. Cheap cables don't tend to filter it out. They often pick it up. So a good cable is invaluable, especially when recording ASMR. It's got a 10-year warranty. That's quite a bit. And then some free downloads. See what else is on the outside of the box. Pretty much all saying the same thing. They're just really happy to show you all the items that it comes with. So I guess this is going to be the accessories. And the microphone's probably on bottom. Okay. So first is our little manual. And this is the Rode. It's got some stickers shoved inside. Probably won't put that on anything. Okay. NT1-A. Instruction manual. Gonna register for the warranty. And here is some of the specs. And really, I guess I can't really make sense too much of any of these specs. I just know it's a good microphone. Okay. Maybe some of you guys with a little acoustic engineering knowledge can tell me about it. Here is the XLR cable. It's the cables that look like that with the 3 pins on it. Looks like a 10-foot cable. That's awesome. Very awesome. I'll save the microphone itself for last. Okay, and here we are. This is the pop filter and the shock mount. So this is just a little piece of cloth to actually prevent P's and T's from being too sharp. Shock mount has some elastic rubber bands on it. So it's kind of floating in the air. This is awesome. Very cool. I can't tell you guys how excited I am for this. This is like, I probably should have bought this for myself years ago, but couldn't muster up the justification to buy it. But now that I'm trying to start making or closer to a career out of this, this is such a blessing. And here we are. Made in Australia. I didn't realize it was an Australian company. Interesting. So the Rode NT1A. Serial number. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. You can see it has multiple layers of screens. Awesome. So pumped. Now, it needs a audio interface. When it came with a little bag too. Nice. Nothing in the bag. Suppose I can put the microphone there later. And I don't know if it was the same person, but the audio interface was also sent to me in the mail recently, so I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude. I can't thank you guys enough for hooking it up. So let's open up the interface and then we'll hook up the microphone. And in the meantime, we'll see if I can stop bumping the camera. I have to start a little discard pile for my opened up gifts. Okay, next And this is the, I believe it says it on the box. There we go. The Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 3rd generation. This is one of the best known audio interfaces out there. It's meant to essentially pre-process the signals. So let's open this up. Okay, we're in. Awesome. Now this one was right off my wish list, so I don't believe there's no note or anything, so I don't know. Seriously, whoever you guys are, thank you so much. These two are amazing, amazing gifts, as are all the other gifts I've gotten. These will be particularly helpful for the channel, though, of course. So it's a 2i2, 2 in, 2 out. Give your mics air, a brighter, more open sound. That's new. That's awesome. 2 of the best performing preamps. That's what they're called. Humphrey, McGee, Humphrey Bogart, balanced outputs, clean audio playback. 2 balance lines for connecting Scarlett 2, connects to Mac or PC, included cable, no external power required. Let's pop it open real quick. Remembered my candles. Gonna get those bad boys back in frame. Okay. I always like the different types of cardboard folds. A little innovative way is they use the same piece of cardboard to hold the items inside in place. And this seems like some nice thick, soft plastic too. Perfect for ASMR. God, I'm so pumped about this. Thank you. Thank you. This is the USB cable. Maybe I can just slide it out. Nice. USB. And there we go. So this is USB A, or maybe B, or 3.0. I get confused what to call it. And this is USB-C, what everything's transitioning to these days. Awesome. love the sound of that cable. Really thick, insulated, soft coating on the cables. Sounds so nice. I love it. Okay, let's get this thing into use. So let's go ahead and open this up. Those don't sound too bad. I'm not sure if I should be touching them though, any more than I have to. But they sound so good, I kind of have to. Okay. Awesome. This is so cool. Okay. Nice little plastic film on the top that I will gladly peel off for you guys. Oh, it does have one on the back too. Nice. Okay, sweet. Alright, you guys ready? Let's watch this. You can see all the scuffs on the plastic are going to magically disappear. Oh, look at that. Wow. I don't know why that's so appealing to see, like, smooth plastic. And even the texture on the metal is really nice. It's not that polished, but it's kind of like a very fine sandpaper, like 600 grit sandpaper. If this thing goes out of focus, I'll make a pun. There we go, here we go. You guys ready? Film unpeeling, take 2, or part 2. Let me get it in the light just right, just right. This is awesome. Okay. Well, guys, let's hook it up and see how we like it. Alright, so we got this thing set up very precariously. Don't ask me what's going on here. I need to get a better mic stand. But this thing sounds amazing. Here we got I feel like it's like 20 feet of cable in the Scarlett setup. So this cord, the XLR, runs down through all this cable to the input. This thing is a preamp, and it supplies power to the mic, sends it to the computer, and this is my headphone jack to monitor the sound. So it's working as far as I can tell. So I hope you guys enjoy this microphone a little bit better than the Blue Yeti we were just using. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, this next one is a book. Called The Story of Philosophy. This book is the same name as another great book that's different, by a different author, Will Durant. But this book, gosh, I don't know if I know who actually bought this for me. So again, if it's you, please drop a comment in the video, and let me know, and I'll be sure to thank you personally. I was really extremely excited to get this book. This was off my wish list. This is much more broad, yet a little bit shallower than Will Durant's version of this book. Will Durant took about 10 or 12 different philosophers and did a fairly in-depth look at their lives and actual philosophies. This book was fascinating because it gives you such a, not only, move these out of the way, not only a broad scope, a sweeping scope of philosophy from the pre-Socratics all the way up to modern day psychoanalysts like Jung and Freud, and even Einstein, and some of the more current world paradigms. There we got postmodernists, Foucault, Lacan, Derrida. And for someone like myself who hasn't formally studied philosophy at all and wants to get an overview, I mean, this is exactly right up my alley. I just wanted to get a gloss of all the different systems of thought in a way that's kind of chronological, that can help me connect the dots between systems of thought from ancient China and India and Greeks, evolving into the Christian modes of thinking and how they've dominated, all the great philosophers like Kant and Spinoza, Hegel, and then people like Marx and Nietzsche, kind of reactions to Christian religious dominated culture and political, social, philosophical thought that have, essentially defined the worldviews of the civilizations of the past couple thousand years. So anyways, thank you so much for this book. I'm very, very excited to be able to read this, and I'm sure we'll be making some episodes on using it sometime soon. Appreciate it. Next is one of the more thoughtful gifts I've ever gotten. It might be the most. It was a very personal gift to the channel. And obviously this is the donor, I guess I'd say, the writer of this book. And I don't want to, it's actually a personal book of poetry, so I don't want to expose anything that's, meant for just my eyes. Maybe I'll reach out to Ian, and if you're watching this, I would love to read some of these. Some of these are very interesting. It's a book of poetry, and let's see. About the author, Ian Hall is approaching the completion of his undergraduate studies in political science and English in New York after he is continuing his education for his Juris Doctorate. Yellow was written exclusively during his 21st year of age. And so this is kind of like a senior project for his degree. Ian plans to continue his work in writing and art regarding philosophy, existentialism, and culture as a graduate student. So, this was so thoughtful, and I got really, really happy opening this up and reading it. For me, it was, it was very interesting to read, very poignant language, very almost nostalgic. It evoked a sense of it was able to capture the essence of things that I felt and still feel in a lot of ways when exposed to the world, and the challenge of finding out what to do in your life, with your life, while you're here. So for me, this was awesome, Ian. I can't thank you enough for sending it in. I loved the poetry, and I loved the personalized note, man. That really meant a lot. I could tell it was very sincere and very heartfelt. So thanks a ton for this. And yeah, as well, man, reach out and let me know if you'd prefer, if I didn't do anything with it and just kept it for myself, I'd be more than happy to oblige you. But very cool. Next, I really just wanted to see. I'll put these over here for this one. I brought some of the other gifts I've received over the past year or so. And I don't know, I'm just a sucker for books. So if you guys think there's interesting philosophy, history, science, or even just a really good work of fiction I might like, I most likely will be ecstatic to receive it. These books are not the most recent gifts. Some of them I've already shown, but I just wanted to run through a handful of other items that I've received over the past year or so, and just to say thanks, just to show my appreciation, because every single item I've gotten has been really, really interesting. So this one, I believe this one was actually on my Amazon wish list, because I still at this point haven't released it, but I did a drawing of Hokusai's wave. And this book has, you know, pretty much what the title says. History of the world in 100 objects. And for me, you know, I'm just a soul in the world trying to figure out where I stand in history. What's come before us, what's the trajectory of where we're going based on those ideas that have come before us. And I love comprehensive histories of the world. For me, it's very useful, and it's really interesting when you recognize and view yourself as very much immersed in what's going on in the world. You know, we are a player, and everything in history is our history. So the more I read about history, the more I recognize that. So it doesn't necessarily, my history doesn't necessarily end, you know, where my great-grandfather, his grandparents began, or anything like that. The more I read, the more I recognize we all share the same history. And it's books like these that really help put a good, solid, understandable perspective on history for me. And really make me appreciate where we are, and the sense of mystery in the human project, the collaborative human endeavor to understand how we got to where we are. So this book was very cool. Thanks. Next is, what's next here? Next is Brain Tingles. And this book is actually by a doctor, or a PhD, founder of ASMR University, and it's actually a book about ASMR. The secret to triggering autonomous sensory meridian response for improved sleep, stress relief, and head-to-toe euphoria. It's even got actual goosebumps. I mean, they're not called goosebumps, actual raised, embossed bumps on the cover. Specifically picked out this texture and material for the book because it's so soft and muffled and very nice. It's just it's a really soft kind of matte texture to it. It's awesome. And this book it has a quick, brief little history, but it's mostly about what induces ASMR and how to do that. So, very cool book, and a very great name. Let's see what's next. Ah, nice. This book was also another one, and I'm so sorry. I feel like such a jerk for forgetting who has bought me all these books, or each individual. But seriously, thank you so much. I've only started this book a little bit, so I'm not that far into it, but I read the biography of Einstein by Isaacson, and it was really good, and he talks about this book in that book. And apparently this guy, as a backstory, was trying to escape Germany. He's a Jew, and Einstein was able to get him access and get him work over in the US during the 1930s when Nazis came to power. And they became friends, and this became one of the fruits of their friendship. It was a book by both of them, and really what it says. It's a nice gloss of the history and evolution of concepts in physics from the early days all the way up to Einstein's physics. So I figured, what better person than the symbol of genius himself to learn the great concepts of physics from. Again, it's something I'm trying to pursue in life, is just to have a general overview, a general sense of what it is that we know as humans. And reading books like this that are meant for the layman, for me, is very useful. I want to be able to understand, and not just understand, but appreciate through understanding all the things like this, and the microphone, and all the modern technology that we so easily take for granted. It's really an amazing time in history that we live in, so that's why I appreciate learning more and more about science and history, especially stuff that clarifies all the faulty worldviews that we've had to, get through and wade through in order to so improbably get to where we are nowadays. Next we have, The Scapegoat by René Girard, the late René Girard. This is another book that I want to read. Haven't gotten around to reading it. This guy seems like he had a very, very profound worldview about history, and this lens through which he looked through history, he looked at history, is unanimously by many, many people considered very important. So I do definitely want to eventually read this book. Scapegoat by René Girard. So next we have, what do we have here? Yes. be one of the most interesting books I've read in a long time. Carl Jung's Red Book. I actually first heard about it through ER's video about it. I had no idea back years ago when he filmed that Carl Jung was so into just taking seriously the idea of the soul. Because the word psyche, the root of psychology, actually is Greek for the soul. So, in that literal translation, psychology is really the study of the soul. And there's just so much we don't understand about the human mind. And nowadays with, the ever complexifying worldviews with quantum mechanics and, between dark energy and dark matter, even things like physics that we once looked at as being as real as it gets and as solid a foundation and understanding of the world as it gets, are starting to reveal themselves, at the quantum level, subatomic levels. The world gets very, very strange. And it's people like these, like Carl Jung, that take the idea that we are living, we're groups of atoms that we call living, and we are composed of the world that we profess to objectively study. And it's just very encouraging to read a man who has taken seriously his own thoughts and his own psychological experiences, and not just dismiss them as insignificant mental aberrations. So, this guy was a genius, and I forget, but someone gave me the money in one of the live streams one time to buy this book, so thank you for that so much. I did, and I really enjoyed it. Took me a while too. I think I drew a cool little picture in the back of it one time. Where'd they go? Screw yeah, I had it tucked away in the back towards the spine. This whole book was like some type of revelation to Carl Jung. After 20 years of reading and studying not only medical and hard science, but mystical and religious, spiritual, philosophical texts, he wrote this book and kept it to himself his whole life, which is pretty amazing, other than a few close people that he let read the book. So, I felt very much in touch with, the sincerity of studying your soul when I was reading this. So I did this little doodle right here. I'm not sure what it means, but, I'm sure I was just very much influenced by his imagery, because he was actually a really interesting writer. He used very visual, vivid language, and he was able to really brilliantly paint a picture that's it for that, and this is just a nice guitar cable, and I've been using this quite a bit, so thank you very much. I really appreciate getting this. You know what? I actually know who it was who sent this to me. It was John. So thanks, man. I remember you said you had heard that I needed one, and you came through, and it's just such an honor that you guys are kind enough to send items like that, and just to even recognize that you've watched the channel enough to hear things like that is a real honor. Very cool. And then this book I got a while back, but I just recently started reading it. It's by Beth, it's from Beth in the UK. This book wasn't on your wish list, but I thought you might find it interesting. And I really am Beth, so I had never even heard of this book. But again, I love learning history that sheds light on important world events. In this, the transition from Rome to the Middle Ages is certainly a serious, ridiculously significant, important world historical event. It's got some beautiful handwritten, hand-drawn, really, images from medieval, very early medieval Bibles. So, thanks a lot, Beth. I really appreciate it. And lastly, I want to show you guys an upcoming video. This is a Gameboy repair kit here. I really want to continue doing little electronics videos every now and then. And this, I got a couple Game Boy games sent in, and again, anonymously, so thank you, whoever you were. This is a Tetris game, so we're going to open that up right now. These scissors are awful. actually got 2 video games. Next is Wario. It came in one of these old Gameboy cases. There we go. Look at that. It's a little bit beat up right there, but it's so awesome, so awesome. So what I intend to do with this, I guess I'll leave that right there. I want to repair my old Game Boy from when I was a kid. This is the original Game Boy right here. It's got the headphone jack, on-off switch. When you turn it on, you can see it closes so that you can't take out the game. And there's my chip tooth Mario baseball. And what I want to do is to take this back cover off and solder the screen, because apparently when there's green lines, dark green lines, it just means that some connection has come loose. And I saw a video online that made it look pretty easy, so I bought myself a soldering gun. Because the one I have is a piece of junk, and it's pretty run-of-the-mill right here, but it's got a little solder, some new tips. It's a 750 degree soldering gun. And Nintendo uses these, see if you can see them right here, there we go, these tri-wing screws right there. So I went out and bought us some tri-wing screwdrivers. So anyways, that's going to be a fun video to go ahead and do. And that appears to be it, guys. So I just want to thank all of you who first are watching, but especially those of you who have donated to the channel. It just means so much. And it's such a pleasure, such an absolute pleasure to receive. So, thank you as always. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And sleep well. I'll see you guys next time.